I said I was from Hazleton, and my father had a little side street store. And a young man came into my father's establishment, and in conversation, because almost everybody, men were in the service one time or another, I found out that he worked for a company that did welding in town. And I said, well, I did some welding in the Navy. I was an aviation metalsmith. Oh, what ship were you on? Natural course of conversation. I said, the USS Belleau Wood. He said, I was on the Patterson. We picked you guys up. So as I started to tell him the actual details of that day, which I guess I would put it this way, we finally saw a masthead of a ship, and you could actually hear the engines coming. We didn't know whether it was Japanese or American, but fortunately it was American. And as she started to pull up alongside this net where the four of us were hanging on to, they threw a life net midship so that we could grab it and climb aboard. Well, the three other fellows that were hanging on with me were able to grab it. I missed, and I drifted towards the stern. Now, for those who know anything about ships and bigger ships, there's a semicircular heavy tube, maybe about 4 inches in diameter, to protect the propellers when they're docking, particularly when you have twin screws. So as I drifted towards the stern of the ship, that's the rear end of the ship, of course, I sort of reached up and was able to grab and hang on to this propeller guard. So I'm telling this man, who, by the way, this young man from my hometown, his name was Jim McIlarney, from my hometown. I didn't find this out till later. So I'm telling him how the sailor climbed down on this propeller guard and dragged me aboard. And he stopped. He said, hold it. You're the guy I pulled off the propeller guard. He gave me his bunk, found out that day, I'm talking about 1946, that he was from my hometown. He brought me, he said, don't go anywhere. He said, I want to go home and get something. He ran home, and he brought in a picture, which I could show you later if you wish, that they took of the burial at sea of 2 of the guys. They picked up 13 of us, and 2 had died that night, because I remember them in the wardroom, but I'm not going to go further into that. And we became good friends for a short period of time. I eventually left town and headed to college in Philadelphia. So it was quite an unusual circumstance. If he said, and I was from, say, New York, and he was from New York, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But 36,000 and meeting this way in the Pacific, I thought it was unusual.